up, guys? Alright, today I'm gonna try to make something even more broken than anything I've made before. We're gonna go for it. We'll see what happens.
Is it thy now? My
Yo, Baldwin, how you doing, man? All right. Let's try like this. See what happens. Oh shit. It's coming. Oh, you guys already know. You guys already know. I want to see the damage real quick. Alright, 767, and then... Wait, we can't use that? Does that take the place of the Golden Vow? Oh, it's because I'm out of FP, never mind. Doesn't look like it. Woo! 948! The trusting sword. That is to be feared. Feared. The mega buff TS, dude. Now triple stack poison buff? No, that's unreliable. Only lasts 20 seconds. You're gonna be stuck buffing forever if you do that. No, however, there's one thing I'm a little on the fence about Millicent Prosthesis. I'm considering... where is it? Considering this one. That extends spell duration. It's considering this instead. Because here's the deal, right? We're gonna have like the effect of you can swap it off after the buff too? Really? Well, that's interesting. I didn't know it kept the effect after the buff. Okay, guys. And put this here. Just gonna set up my pots real quick. Dude, imagine if we frost someone. Dude, it's just gonna be so brutal. One thing though, I wonder... Okay, yeah, we can have that on. Have some extra like status resist, it's always useful. I don't think really we need the crossbow for this. I really don't think so because, I mean, TS is already like a stupid strong weapon. Alright. Now, there's one thing I want to see. So, our normal AR right now is 522. So, 522 for the TS. I want to know how much Electrify Armament gives. So, we go from 522 to 167. That's not actually worth it, guys. Oh, wait, what the hell? Oh no, that's because I'm not two-handing. So 667 versus 657. So the bundle, guys, the bundle is basically like 10 AR less. This seal is optimal for the buff. For this stat spread, yes, you have like incant scaling of 289 because Claw Talisman has a high strength scaling. So technically, if we wanted to have this be more meaningful, we would need more Fate. And you kind of sacrifice the rest of the stuff. So actually... this might not even be worth it. This might not be worth it because the lightning buff, it only uses the fate scaling though. Okay, then let's try another one. Okay, so again, let's just double check. Alright, 667. Let's change it to this one. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Oh, you're right. Okay, 713 here. So we're gonna have to check what's the best one. Okay, so Claw... okay, you were totally right. So Claw, even though like Claw says that the incantation scaling is higher, all we care about is the fate scaling. So perhaps Earth 3 Seal actually is better. So we're at 713. No, 7-4, so that's less than Finger Seal. I think Finger Seal is probably going to be best. But we're going to have to test them. Oh, 716, so the Dry Leaf Seal is giving us the most so far. This is so interesting. We can't even take into account the incant scaling. Okay, so this one is less. Let's try this one. So far, the best one is the Dry Leaf one. This one's close, but it's not there. Wow, this one is super close. This one's at 715. It's like 1 AR difference from the dry leaf. That's crazy. Look at this. Incantation scaling 289. And this actually gives us the least amount of AR. Look at that. 667. That's such a massive difference between this one, which is 716. Look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, this one is actually the best, the dry leaf one. That's so interesting. I should just yeah. All right, well, now it's starting to be worth it, because like the difference between 716 and 657, like now we're starting to talk about like 60 AR difference, but now it's starting to be significant. Wow, that is super interesting though, that the I didn't know that the incant scaling number is all fucked up. Like it doesn't tell you the truth. It's so strange. Well, technically it says that the dry leaf has the second best though, so I guess it's the Clawmark seal that really only scales for bestial stuff properly, because bestial or physical attacks maybe. Well, interesting stuff. I'm gonna put the other seals back in the box. And we're gonna give this a try. Now before we go in, $1,000 AR trusting sword, guys. 1,000 AR TS. And guess what? That 1,000 AR TS, I still have crazy defense boost from, you know, the verdigris tally. I still have the defense boost from Golden Vow and my physic. So it sort of nullifies like the Blood Boil Aromatic debuff. So I think our TS is probably like gonna 3-shot maybe. I'm very curious. Let's try it. This is gonna be nasty, man. For this special occasion, I almost want to grab like Bullgoat fucking Bullgoat armor. Just looks silly. Oh, we're overloaded if we go up weight class. I'm gonna stay with this for now. Yo, Castle, thanks to a resub for 60 months, man. Thanks, bro. Your damage in DLC is different. Yeah, it's different if you have the Skadoodoo's, but I don't grab the Skadoodoo's just so that I don't have this problem. You'll know if your scaling's fucked up because the Skadoodoo numbers are always in yellow. Normal numbers are not in yellow. Or in the white gray. Isn't Aloe Shabribri better than Blood Boil? That's a good question, is it? Doesn't it last for a very short amount of time? Aloe of Shabribri. We can give it a shot, though. Actually, let's see how long it lasts. Actually, I should have started a timer. 40-second and 52 with the tally. I think it's 20% damage increase, 35% damage decrease. Ooh, that's sort of nasty. I don't think it's worth it. And also, does it take the spot of Golden Vow? Doesn't seem like it. But yeah, if it's 35% defense decrease, that's too much. 35% is very significant. Like Blood Boil gives 25% damage debuff. Like when you get to the 35% range, like you're taking a big gamble there. It's 25% damage given, 30% damage taken. Okay, that makes more sense for a trade-off. It might be worth it. Dude, I might actually try it. Does 25% total damage increase? That's gonna take into consideration like everything. Like, you know, like let's do it for a second, right? So we have Golden Vow, Electrify Armament, Howl of Shabribri, and then we're at 1030 AR. Instead of instead of 1004. Not worth it. I don't think it's worth it, guys. Actually, 1030 versus 1004. I mean, technically 25 extra AR for a TS is actually significant. We're gonna have to see it in practice, I think. Should try to get the most damage possible for fun. Yeah, I think we can try like Howl of Shabribri since we never use it. Although I don't think the damage taken trade-off is worth it. Because like the idea is that this build is not like overly skewed toward damage, sacrificing defense because you have verdigris, right? Because you're fat rolling, you kind of mitigate a lot of that and you save on stats for the endurance, right? So it's like a different skew. You have like higher defense and higher offense at the price of losing the mid-roll, but it's not like that big of a deal, right? That's like the idea. Also, that buff takes a while to do. That's the wrong fucking thing, god dang it. No more blue juice now. Does this guy have a parry tool? Can't see what he has in his hand. Looks like he does. Also, I lose some endurance Yeah, I lose some endurance here, and my endurance is quite low, so I think the blood boil is better, guys. Yeah, I don't have enough endurance to be like comfortable. So blood boil is better here for sure, because blood boil gives you some endurance, it lasts longer, and you're gonna take less damage. I think it's gonna be better. Also, you know, like 500-ish for the TS, like, it's good, but it's not, like, you know, it was not a 3-shot. But that doesn't stop us from trying, like, different weapons than TS today. Like, sure, we can try TS just because it's, you know, it's TS, but we can try other weapons too. Like, I'm thinking maybe, like, Milady with this could be interesting. Because Milady hits multiple times, so it's going to benefit from the buff. So we can try Milady with this. We can try... which other weapon could be interesting? You know, if we look at our inventory, maybe we can have an idea. Technically, fast weapons would benefit the most from this. Twin Blade, actually. Twin Blade could be nasty. Twin Blade could be one that benefits. Unironically, I'm very curious about the claws. What else is... Can you even buff the claw? I don't think you can buff the claws, though, actually. You can buff the claws, never mind. That is so interesting. Okay. We're gonna be able to try those too, I guess. Okay, we're gonna have Milady. Of course, Shamshir is another one. But Shamshir, it's very similar to TS. Milady, though, does multi-hits, so that could be interesting. Raptor Talon, you know, it would be optimal. Same thing with B8 back in Blade. These would be optimal on decks. Starfists. Starfist, I'm a little on the fence, because Starfist is one of those that... With Barbaric Roar, I feel like the setup makes more sense. Same thing with Pada. Like, Pada, I think it makes more sense to go for Barbaric Roar in mid-roll. Yeah, I'm thinking that Milady and Twin Blades are actually weapons that make the most sense for strength for this particular setup. So we're gonna try those, you know, after we properly test the TS, of course. Wouldn't you get more with Earth Tree Seal? We tested all of them. We tested all of them, and the Dryleaf one gives us the highest AR. The second best was the Godslayer one. I have to keep in mind that we are at 50 Fate for this. We are at 50 Fate, and we don't really have that much room to sneak in, like, extra points. Like, we're already, like, sort of short on everything, or... Maybe not optimal on everything, like this is not optimal armor, but this is safe armor. Because you have to keep in mind for invasions, like it's way more dangerous to get slept or to get madness. So technically, I mean, overall, obviously the verdigris armor is better, but I think for the element of surprise of what you have to encounter, I think Solitude armor might be a little safer, like, generally speaking. It's less optimal, but it's safer from surprise situations that could be dangerous with any sleep status or madness status. Like, you know, like you're fighting a gank or whatever, and all of a sudden someone pulls out Bone Bow with sleep arrows. A reason why you might survive that invasion could be purely because you already had Solitude armor, for instance. That's like one case. Or like someone that looks like a scrub and plays bad, but all of a sudden that guy pulls out a madness hand swap. Like, I've had that happen. Like, I fought some people that were not very good, and then all of a sudden, you know, like, they watch the vid and shit. And then they do a madness hand swap. And if you have solitude armor, you resist it, so you're good. One thing that could be devious with this is if we manage to frost our opponent prior to engaging, that could be fucking brutal. Like, imagine the 20% buff from frost on top of everything that this has. Pretty crazy stuff. Also, I'm thinking perhaps the turtle shell could also be better than the status shield. That's what I'm thinking about. To be careful. There's never a free lunch. I should kill him. No, it's not. That's just fucking muscle memory there. Now we removed our best buff. Okay, this is still good. This terrain is really bad. Okay, there's some enemies here that could help us. Right now, I would go for like a remove weapon kick, but if this is very risky to do a remove weapon kick. Like right now, the TS here is actually not the greatest weapon for this situation, given both of them have shields. We can't finish them quickly. I can't see like where to go. I can't get a reset because the map is shit. Okay, we're gonna have. I think now we can actually engage. Oh my god, dude. It's wild how they don't know what they're doing, but they're still threatening. Kevin is gonna die here. I think this invasion, is the perfect example why people are wrong when they say that TS is like the best invasion weapon. Like, this invasion is the perfect example of like TS here is not the right weapon for the job here. Technically, like, this invasion is way easier if you have like another setup. Like here, for instance, a two-handed crusher, a sight, you know, like a fist weapon. Like, all of these are better options in that particular situation. Like, Barbaric Roar Pada here is better. Like, Barbaric Roar Starfist is better. So TS is not always the best tool for the job. I think that's one, like, big misconception. When you're getting chased by 3 people, let's say, and one of them has, like, a dueling shield, then the dueling shield is a little different. Dueling shield here nothing really allows you to kill him quickly as the invader, so you don't really have a choice but to be defensive, and the best defensive option is going to be to have BHS, and so the best BHS weapon is going to be TS. So it's not necessarily as simple as to say, well, like TS is just the better weapon every single time. In 1v1 you could say that, but in invasions, not really. Okay, let's buff it up. That's some big damage. The guy that was frosted took 700 from the running. That's crazy. Is Flynn Ring worth it in Elden Ring? No, it's not, unfortunately. Unless you're using... The only time I think it could be worth it, where you could have an argument, is if you're using, like, the dragon form. Let's say you're making a dragon build with the dragon form. I think the Flynn Ring equivalent is going to make sense for your melee weapon, because technically, you know, if you're using dragon with dragon form, you have a dragon build. Like, mainly, like, your main damaging source is going to be dragon spells, but you'll still want to have, like, melee weapons. And depending on your talisman setup, you could technically make room for that, because there's no downside to having it, basically. You'd have to, like, look at the damage numbers, and depending on what type of setup you're using, like, for instance, if you're using a two-handed weapon, well, chances are two-handed talisman's still going to be better. So now you're going to take a look at, okay, like, I probably want, like, to have the 2 Fate talismans to increase my casting damage, but then you'll have, like, 1 last free talisman, and then that last free one, depending on what you're using, you could make a case for the Flynn tally. The Flynn equivalent. I think it's Blue Dancer that it's called in this game. Yeah, what Crab said, like, passive poise and so many other damage options, it made it obsolete. Like, for the most part, it doesn't make sense because, like, for instance, here, if I'm trying to maximize my Trusting Sword damage, I can already maximize my Trusting Sword damage without, without, like, Flynn Ring. Like, I can already, like, full, like, all my talisman slots, basically. All right, we're gonna test this against this guy. That might work with Winged Tear, though. That's interesting. I wonder if it actually benefits from that. Yeah, like Mook said, Dark Souls 3 barely had any damage talisman. Like, for instance, in Elden Ring, like Mook just hit the, you know, he hit it on the, he hit the nail on the head. It's basically, if you want to sacrifice defense for offense, Blood Boil is where it's at. Because Blood Boil, you do that, you keep your build the same, and you just pop that, and it lasts a minute, which is a long time. With the Flynn Talisman, you sacrifice way more than Blood Boil, because you have to sacrifice your entire armor. And like Crab said earlier, you sacrifice poise as well. Like in Dark Souls 3, like, heavy armor was one thing, but you had the benefit of light roll, and there was not like passive poise per se, so like it was not it was not as advantageous, or it's not as advantageous in Elden Ring, given that you already have BHS which replaces light roll, and you need the passive poise in this game, especially as the invader. Like in a 1v1 situation, you can adjust your poise to what your opponent is using, but when you're fighting multiple people, it gets into the pretty risky territory. I think we're gonna have to kill this guy quickly. I'm gonna have time to okay, at least we're escaping the death hole. We're escaping the death hole, and then we can properly buff here. They thought they were ambushing me, guys. They thought they set up the ambush, but we three-shot them. That's insane. Night Train can't have PvP, dude. Like, Night Train would be, like, completely broken PvP-wise, so it's impossible to, like, visualize or guess or imagine, like, what would be good, because the fundamental mechanics of Night Train don't work with PvP. So you can't even start to imagine things. It just wouldn't work. It says they're not that far. Yeah, we saw them. Yo, Marvin! Thank you so much for the resub, man. Welcome back. Oh, this was, who's the host at? Oh, there he is. This is it, guys. The Terminator. What? I blocked it. Have to be careful because they do big damage. That's it for him. brutal stuff. Yo, Mozzarella, how you doing, bro? So, for those wondering, those of you who just came in, like today we're basically like pushing some concepts like to the limit. We're doing fat roll again, but you know, fat roll equals BHS. So it's a fat roll build with like right now we have Bloodhound Step TS, you know, just to try the most broken thing, but I also want to explore like other weapons later on. And then we're reaching like 1,000 AR with our Trusting Sword by buffing with Electrify Armament, Golden Vow, and the Blood Boil Aromatic. So that's the idea. It's like we're pushing our Trusting Sword into like 3 to 4 shot territory. I say 3 to 4 shot, but technically we've had people the start that basically took like 500-ish damage from the TS, which, you know, it's good, but it's not like mind-blowing good. Like the host that we fought just now was taking 700 damage from the running attacks. That's good, but that's not like it's not the highest I've seen for, you know, different weapons. Like for instance, the Pada that we did with 80 strength, it was not a fat roll, it was a medium roll, just with 80 strength, Blood Boil, and Barbaric Roar. And that thing could basically, like, two-shot people from running R2 combo into the R2. Like, you do 2 of those, you could kill pretty much anyone. Whereas here with this Trusting Sword, depending on if you get a counter hit or not, depending on what type of armor your enemy has, how much HP do they have, you're not necessarily going to get a guaranteed 3 or 4 shot. It's going to depend. Like, take a look at this guy. Insane lock on. Oh, even the TS is not enough for these sort of invasions, unfortunately. But, like, I think this was a perfect example, right? Like, we had all our buffs, you know? We had everything going. I don't know if the first Phantom with armor was over-leveled. The second one definitely was, but I don't know if the first one was over-leveled, but we did, like, sub 500. Like, 477, it's really good for TS, don't get me wrong. It's really good, but it's not, like, high enough damage to make it, like, realistic to kill someone like that under pressure from, like, other people, like, attacking you. Like, it's just not realistic. Like, it takes too many hits to kill him. Like, in that situation, I probably prefer Barbaric Roar Pada in that specific situation, just purely because, you know, you're fighting people that are light rolling, Pada is just better at pressuring them. And then with Pada, Barbaric Roar, you can out Hyper Armor the other guy as well. Or full power Blacksteel. Full power Blacksteel is definitely very good too, but full power Blacksteel does not have the same... It kills very quickly, but it's not like, you know, against the Hyper Armor, like I would have trouble like getting in there. Because like a Twin Blade does not have any option against Hyper Armor if it doesn't have like Spin Slash. And so without Spin Slash, like, yeah, the Twin Blade can technically, like, trade with the Hyper Armor and win trades, but you're not going to be able to put sustained pressure on the Hyper Armor guy. Like, they're going to out-prioritize you, and that's going to stall you. Whereas Pada with Barbaric Roar, the Roar has the priority here. So you can, like, kill the Hyper Armor guy quicker, and you can also kill the Light Roller quicker. So this sort of stuff is sort of important to consider. I thought these guys were ganking there. I think the host was legitimately like trying to fight the boss. We're still gonna do like a few like TS one, but I'm really curious about the Milady though. Like I really want to see like how Milady performs with something like this. I'm really curious. Because I feel like Milady would benefit more since it has multi-hits. Like I feel like the multi-hit aspect would synergize a little bit better. Yeah, I'm not gonna buff until I reach them here, because... Oh. Well. Thank you, Elden Ring. Where is the turtle shield? Did I miss it? Probably did. Where is it? Or did I put it? Oh, I put it permanently in my inventory. That's why I'm looking for it. It's like right there. We're a little too heavy with it though. Have to remove this. Actually, it's probably safer to keep this here. Oh, we're overloaded still. Well, not worth it. I think we're just gonna remove it straight up. Would trusting shield be a better option with this? No, because I have very low stamina. This is not like, this is a stamina light build. Like the trusting shield benefited more from having like a massive stamina bar, because you can just raid forever with pretty much everything. Whereas with this, you're like at the start of the first invasion, we tried Howl of Shabribri instead of Blood Boil, and we were short on stam to finish the first guy. So that's why I decided I think I prefer Blood Boil over the Howl. Even though the Owl gives a little bit more damage, you take a little bit more damage, but you don't have that extra stam that Blood Boil gives you. And because this build doesn't have a lot of stam, I feel like Blood Boil is better than Howl. Now we're gonna be in water, so it's going to be interesting to see the damage. Oh, this dragon does madness, Brett. That's interesting. Great game. Oh, it's gonna take massive damage. No, he killed him. It's just orange lightning, it doesn't mad you? Oh, BG. But you saw there, right? The first Phantom, he basically got 3-shot. He got 3-shot, but it's not representative of the damage we would usually get, because 1, he was frosted, and 2, he was in water. So he took way more damage than he normally would have. It's not Castle. I'll answer that. It's really not. I mean, Elden Ring altogether is not active for duels. And the few people, like the 20 or so people that remain, they all play on PC. Like the 20 or so people that do duels. I mean, obviously I'm talking aside from, you know, the casual arena players, right? Probably gonna have to move here. Don't have time to buff right now. Don't have time to buff, but like it's not like I can't like kill him like quickly. I ate my input there, that was smart. Alright, now it's your turn. Guys, we're gonna do a few more with TS and then I'm gonna switch to Milady. I'm excited to see the Milady damage, honestly. Nope. Come on. Let's just kill the host. He's eager to die. But even then, like, you know, the Phantom... The Phantom was not taking that... I know he was over level, but he was not taking, like, that much damage. I will say, I thought this setup would be stronger than it is. I really thought so. Like, as far as invasion setup, I don't think I would put this, like, above, like, the Pada or the gravitational missile. Like, it's probably, you know, it's probably better than gravitational missile in 1v1, but... And in the invasion specific setting, the damage is just quite not high enough. Running attack Twin Blade is where it's at. Yeah, honestly, Twin Blade is one of those where I think Twin Blades are also like better suited for invasions overall. Like on the proper setup, right? Like the when we did the Fate Blacksteel Twin Blade, that's a proper invasion weapon because that shit can delete people in 2 running. And also you have to keep in mind here, like, even though like it's, you know, electrify armament, it's cool and all, but technically it's only like for 50 fate, it's only 60 extra AR over the bundle. And so the bundle kind of skews the damage comparison, because like the pure strength does not need you know, any fate investment, because the bundle takes care of the buff for free. Whereas here, like, we invest 50 points in fate, like we invest heavily for that buff, and that buff is marginally better. It's marginally better than just the bundle, although I don't think it's fair to compare just the bundle, because technically we also have access to Golden Vow. Golden Vow is one of the best buff in the game, because it gives some defense, some offense. It lasts a very long time. It makes sense to go 80 fate for the buff. We could try it. We could try to modify this. We could try to modify this, lower the strength. You know, like we go under 54 and we go to 80 fate. We could try that. And maybe even like use the like Hone Warrior helmet to get a little bit more strength out of it. Epita Sacred Blade on Sacred TS doing similar damage as I am. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Back when we did the Fate build, the Curve Sword, right? Like when we play with the Curve Sword, that was similar damage. And, you know, Curve Sword and TS, they do like similar damage. I guess the only advantage from this is you get the counter damage from this, but like you said, it's not big enough of a difference for it to be worth it. It's not enough to change the outcome? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And also, like, with the Fate setup, you don't sacrifice defense, right? Like, with the Fate setup, it's just all pure offense. Like, you don't have to chug Blood Boil. Like, here you have to chug Blood Boil to get that crazy offense. To be fair, we do mitigate that by being Fat Roll with Verdigris Tally and Golden Vow, but... you know, that's why we experiment. Like, on paper, this sounded quite broken. But in practice, not as much as I thought it would be. Like, let's say it's only broken because it's TS. Not necessarily because this setup is better than another TS setup that, you know... It's not that much of a difference. With that being said, we are going to try to... see if we get more damage out of this by skewing the stats differently, like lowering our strength, adding some fate, see if it changes the numbers. My input there, god damn it. This guy has that terrible net. Okay, thank god. Okay, this guy has terrible net too. Yo, I ate the input again. I went for an attack, then nothing came out, so I BHS'd out. This guy's net's actually really bad. Yeah. I mean, this is... oh my god, this is a case of, like, Ender or Rusting Shield. Jesus fucking shit net, dude. What the fuck? That is some terrible net, dude. This guy is going on the block list. That shit is unplayable. Alright, we're gonna try, one sec. Gonna try Milady. Alright. So same idea, but we're gonna go for jumping attacks instead. See what happens. You think the int version will work better? Perhaps, because when I made this build, I made it with the int scaling number in mind, which was 249 for claw mark tally, which I thought this would be the one that gives the highest AR, but that is not true. It's this one at 259. So I think the intelligence one have a little bit better scaling for 50 int. So I think you'd get a little more AR. Is the extra 10% from Lido worth the focus loss on Milady? Jump R2, spread and butter? I don't think you can buff the Lido one. And buffs are better than fate buffs. Yeah, I mean, again, the reason why I made this with lightning was that the Clawmark talisman buff number was significantly higher than the intelligence one. But that number is false. It's not representative of what you actually get out of it, so it is what it is. Oh, come on. Shamble. Didn't have time to buff, unfortunately. See, like, that's already like a lot better damage wise because of the multi-hit abilities. So Milady actually seems to pair better with something like this than the TS, it seems. Okay, going down. This guy's by himself here. Okay, well. Didn't think he would do a 360 like that. That's 1000 damage here. That is very good, dude. That is some very high number. Like, see, to me, like, that seems better suited for invasion, this type of damage. I think we're gonna rebuff before we go back in. Yo, the tracking when you shoot it up the ladder is so good. What the hell? Did you guys know about harpoons like at that angle? That's crazy. I did not know harpoon could be shot like at such a steep angle. It just went like straight up. Like just straight up. Harpoon in the butt. Yeah, this guy probably felt really good after that. We gave the Redditor the experience he wanted all along. Says there's only one person. But he summoned someone. Oh my god, how did you even get there with 600 HP, dude? That's crazy. Why are you even here? I don't understand how people do that. Everyone's a speedrunner in this game, guys. It's a crash test dummy for real, though. They're PvE gods? Like, clearly. Clearly, dude. They're either PvE gods or they're just, you know... They just butt their head against the wall until the wall breaks. And they're lucky that their skull is a little harder. Yeah, technically here, I think it would be more optimal to do this on on magic build and to use the Scepter of All-Knowing to debuff them further, like, you know, get that extra 10%. You got Scepter of the All-Knowing, you debuff them 10%, you get your buff. Well, actually, the debuffing them 10% is sort of the equivalent of Golden Vow, really, when you think about it. Golden Vow may be a little bit better then. So I guess that's not even an argument, because on the magic one, you're going to be doing the debuffing them, and then on the fate one, you're going to be buffing yourself. I think he's gonna fog roll us. Yep. Yeah, Golden Vow is 7.5, and the staff, or the magic one, the magic debuff for Scepter of the All-Knowing gives 10%. So technically, you know, Scepter does a little bit more damage, but Scepter also makes you take more damage to magic and holy. Whereas Golden Vow also gives you like 5% extra defense. So technically Golden Vow is like all around better. And Golden Vow lasts longer too. And you can apply it while out of battle, whereas the other one you have to apply it in battle. So Golden Vow is superior to Staff of the All-Knowing. All things considered. Yeah, exactly. Golden Vow is better in more situations. I think this guy's letting me buff. We didn't have time to fully buff, but we buffed enough. What I'm liking though about the new sort of meta addition to fat rolling is, you know, that you basically exchange, like, you know, on a normal build usually you'd have either Greatjar Arsenal or sometimes both Erdtree and Greatjar Arsenal. So you're taking away like a talisman like that that really has no use other than making your build work, and you're changing that to a talisman that gives you like more defense. And so you're trading off, like, you're gaining stats. The trade-off really is you lose your Ash of War because you can't use anything else but BHS if you're fat rolling. So you lose your Ash of War, you gain defense, and you gain stats. And honestly, I think the trade-off for fat roll builds is actually worth it for most stuff. Some weapons depend on the Ash. Like, if you want to use an Hyper Armor weapon, or like even the sight, like honestly I would go for Flame Strike rather than BHS fat roll. But for most stuff, you know, the fat roll BHS makes sense. It really does. It's worth it. Where am I here? I think I'm on the wrong side. They gave me like one of the most terrible spawn. I'm like super far from the action. Alright. Gonna take our time. I don't want to respawn because respawning is just playing the roulette. And the Elden Ring roulette is skewed against you. Miyazaki's the casino. Question is, are they going to be here? Or further? No, they're further. Wow, they really gave us a terrible spawn. And a DC. Insane. Great. What's the reasoning for not having blue on your hotbar / pouch? For the pouch, there's items that are better to have access in one button. Like the eel, that you always need access to that very quickly. And then the big pots, same thing. When you want to go for a pot punish, you don't have time to go through it to then get the punish. So I have my big ones there readily available. For the blue, usually it's pretty rare that you need blue in a hurry unless you mismanage it. And so it's fine to just have it in the normal menu. And I'm used to it now, just using it normally. Baby jump. Yeah, that milady seems actually stronger than TS for that specific setup. Because the damage for multi-hits, it really adds up. Like, the buff benefits a lot from attacks that hit twice. So, Aurak, to answer your question again, like, what you want, like, for the most part, is reliability. And so, you could say that having the blue on the hotbar here would probably have a little easier access, but when you're fighting in the moment, chances are, depending on the fight, you'll want to have like harpoon, you'll want to have a bolus type. If you're fighting someone that's very latent, you'll want to have the rot one readily available, or the sleep pots. And so depending on the situation, you'll want to have like these selected, ready to be used like at a moment's notice. And so for the blue juice, you only use it like if you invade, you only have 2 of them, so you're only going to use it like twice really at maximum for the most part, and only 1 at a time. And so you get that quick reliable blue juice from there, and you don't need to use it in the heat of the moment, whereas the normal healing, you do need that, which is why I much prefer to have the healing be on the hot pouch instead of the hot bar here. The hotbar is actually much slower. The hotbar is more useful for selecting something that you plan to keep selected during a fight, and you just leave it there. And then if the moment arises during that fight where you need that harpoon, you go for it right away. You don't need to select anything. But that's a good question, because like the way you set up your pouch and stuff, there is a better way to approach things than not. Obviously, though, it depends on what you plan on using. I use my big pots a lot when I invade, so it makes sense for me to have these like readily available. Today, though, we're not going to use the Dragon Bolt grease, but it's still there if we need it. For most of the time, I use the grease instead of a spell buff, so it's going to stay there for today. But for the most part, you kind of want to have stuff that you need readily available in the fight in spots that are more valuable. And the blue juice simply is less valuable than a lot of this other stuff. Because again, you only use it like once prior to a fight, and then maybe once another time later on in the fight, that's it. Whereas when the need arises to use a pot, I need it like right now. I don't have time to go and select something. Like you need it as soon as possible at the moment you need it. I think we just got an Elden Ring spawn, guys. Look at this. You know what? I might actually reach them. That's the crazy part. Let's just respawn. Okay, there we go. We got a good spawn. Okay, at least we can see the... This PvE might actually one-shot me. Oh, I one-shot the host, so I guess that's fine. Yes, the Golden Vow consumable is nerfed in PvP. It's pretty much pointless. It doesn't do anything. It's like 2 and 1.5% or something like that. Like, it's minuscule numbers. The only useful Golden Vow in PvP is the spell. All the other versions of it are worthless in PvP. In PvE, they still have their use case, but PvP-wise, it's just not worth it. Yeah, Firekeeper, what I was worried about is because I was on Blood Boil. You know, this thing could probably one-tap me. But yeah, so far, Milady being the nice surprise for today. Did not expect it to be, you know, as good as it is, or even better than Trusting Sword for invasions. For most invasions, let's say. Because, you know, TS is still TS, but when you take into account the damage, like, Milady is actually more useful most of the time, I feel like. For this setup, you know, not for every setup. Could be under us, but I don't think so. I think they're gonna be like here somewhere. maybe not. I was sure they were going to be here, but... What the hell? Actually confused now. Might have wasted our buff. Great. Didn't have time to buff because they were running to the boss gate. A cool view here. Never realized it was here. A little random though when you think about the structure, like most of these platforms kind of lead nowhere. It's alright, it's alright. It's just fantasy, guys. Don't worry about it. He backed off, dude. The Phantom said, I am leaving my host to die, bro. Yo! Oh, it's because there was another guy. So it was a 2v2. Oh, the Phantom said, I'm out of this shit, dude. That's crazy. That's so sad, man. I feel so bad for these hosts when the yellow just abandoned them. The Reddit pussies, dude. Why did he do that for? Some people, man, like they only care about their experience. Like they don't care about the experience of other people. They only care about themselves. He doesn't care about the experience for the host. All he cares about is, I don't want to lose, therefore I'm gonna leave my friend to die here. It's quite sad. You know, it's one thing to not like PvP, right? Like that's one thing, but it's another thing to leave your friend to die like that. I say your friend, but whoever you're playing with, you know, at least do your best to help them out. Like, you're here now. I don't know. I guess we're built different. Okay, this area is not active. Let's try another one. Used to try co-op a lot in Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, but it's so hard to keep a random host alive. It is, but I think that's sort of the fun. Like, the way I see it is, the worse my host is, the more challenging it is to keep them alive. You know, the more of a challenge I see it, and sometimes it's fun to, what I don't like is when my host dies right away, or... And I don't have a chance to, like, to persevere to try to get them through a boss. Like, what I like is, like, if I get a really bad player, but they keep resummoning me to try to help them beat a boss, like, over and over until we get it. That I like, because now I have time to adapt and try to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to keep my host alive? Like, because sometimes, you know, the boss is very easy to kill, but the hosts are so bad that they find a way to die as quickly as crazily as it is. Like, they find a way to die, like, instantly. Sometimes, like, they're just so bad that it becomes a challenge to beat the boss faster than they can stay up. I don't know, I actually like that. Like, I've had a lot of sessions where I try to help hosts go through, like, Fire Giant or Mob, and I would use the bubble to keep them alive, but sometimes it was not enough, so, like, I'd try to hurry as fast as I can, like, rot the boss, rot the boss, poison them, keep everything alive, or keep them alive with the bubble, and then, like, frost them, and then try to speed run the boss as fast as I could afterward. Like, I've tried all sort of things, but it's fun. Yo, we both have the buff, let's go. Well, to be fair, I don't have the good weapon for this. I think the way we approach this is with crouch attack. Ooh, little lag there. Oh, big lag. Okay, at least that's taken care of. You cannot leave the host alone. Well, not necessarily. Sometimes it's what you need to do. Like, you need to, like, keep the host alive for a little bit, like, rot and poison the boss, and then you just leave them and you try to keep aggro of the boss, like, fully. For the remaining of the time you need to kill the boss. Because very often these squishy hosts, like, very often they're casters too, so, you know, you just, after that, like, you try to go full tank mode, full aggro, and, like, roll everything the boss is doing, like, perfectly, while your host friend is just, like, peppering them from a distance. And then you just try to kill them as fast as possible. But it's fun. I think it's fun. But obviously, though, it's not fun if you're trying to do, like a no-skadoodoo run, and then your teammate or your host or the player you're fighting with are really not good at all. Like, then you're doing, like, no-skadoodoo in the DLC bosses, like, at some point it starts to become, like, unfun, because there's no way you're gonna win this with someone that dies right away and closes the invasion right away. Like, the no-skadoodoo bosses here in the DLC, like, they take a long time to kill. Like, you can't, like, just speed run them. There's no, like, easy way to instantly kill them, so that does change things. They definitely ran through everything. Well, not quite everything. They're on the other side here. You can see them running. You might get fog walled. Okay, game. Just ate all the inputs after that. That was strange. Yeah, I think we're gonna get fog walled here. No Skadoodoo DLC with 2 codes feel more fun than Night Rain for you? I agree with you. I mean, when Tarnished comes out, we're doing this on stream, man. Like, we're gonna do no Skadoodoo bosses on stream when Tarnished Edition comes out. And we're gonna try... I want to do, like, New Game Plus also. Like, New Game Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it goes all the way to 7. I want to see how difficult it is, like, no Skadoodoo at New Game Plus 7. Because at some point, you get to a point where the bosses are so tanky that the only way to kill them is with status. Like, you do no matter how good your build is, you do no damage with physical attacks or elemental, like, pure damage. Like, you need, at some point, you just need status, otherwise, like, everything is unkillable. And what's funny is we kind of had that happen when we did the No Skadoodoo DLC with the stream. We had that happen at some point, and the whole stream devolved into offhand fingerprint, main hand triple shot crossbow. Why? Because the triple shot crossbow is more like bolt efficient than the spread crossbow or the normal one. Or actually, the normal one is more efficient, but it's much slower. So the triple shot is like the perfect middle ground. And because the bosses do so much damage, it's too dangerous to just stay in there to dodge the attacks. So everyone's staying at a safe distance, doing triple shot like crossbow. And then you have access to all the elements when you do that. So it was so funny to see how, like, PvP minds adapted to the situation. And it devolved into fingerprint triple shot crossbows. Everyone was using that. It was great. I loved it. That was a lot of fun. We're definitely gonna redo that. You prefer the DLC without Skadoodoo? Yeah. I agree. I agree because it's more challenging, but I don't mind what they did with to be fair, like, you know, you have to look at it from a design perspective. When they came up with the DLC, From Software was aware that people were just cheesing the game with over-leveled builds Because I mean, that's their problem. That's how they designed the base game. Like, you can over level and cheese stuff by brute forcing. And From Software, because, you know, they are who they are, they didn't want people to cheese through the DLC. And so they created another system that sits on top of the system they already had that dictated the damage dealt and damage received, which is the Skadoodoo. And so people that went through the DLC thinking they were gonna, you know, like, just bomb rush through it, or cruise through the DLC, like, they got the surprise of like, oh shit, like I'm taking tons of damage and I'm doing low damage even though my build is like max level. And so like builds of all level could go through the DLC that way. But to be fair, that's the reason why they did that and why it made sense is that they created the problem in the first place. Like From Software made it so that people are separated in so many different level brackets. Like technically when you release a DLC like that, 2 years after launch, everyone's already like beaten the game. That's what you need to assume. People have already beaten the game and people already have their build. But the build difference is gonna change drastically depending on, you know, what type of player you're talking about. Oh, I forgot to drink my fizzy. Could have been bad. The blue's gonna prevent me from attacking for a few seconds. Honestly, by the time we can attack back, our buffs will have run out, so we're gonna need to rebuff. Maybe we have time to sneak one in there. Can't underestimate 3 people, though. Okay, our buffs are starting to run out now. There you go. Yeah, absolutely, Firekeeper. Like, you're absolutely right. But technically, you know, like, if you're a developer and you're coming out with a DLC 2 years after launch, it doesn't make sense to cater that DLC to players that just started playing the game. Like, it makes sense to cater the DLC to end game. Like, you know, it's supposed to be end game content because the game has been out for 2 years. So technically, if you're talking about end game content, I mean, we've talked about that many times. Like, From Software, like, shoot themselves in the foot when they made, like, the max level be, like, 99 and everything. If From Software had a level cap of, let's say, 200, then it would be fair to say that you'd have a very large portion of the Elden Ring population that would play at max level, which would be 200 in that case. And so it would become, like, the level hub for activity, for people playing the game, for build making. And so, like, it would create a gravitational, like, leveling center around, like, everyone playing the game would gravitate toward that level, basically. And so it would be easy for them to then make a DLC catered specifically for that level. But they can't really do that now because 99 and everything is not, like... You can't really build a DLC around that, because if you build around max level now, or you create a DLC around max level, like, technically people that have 99 and everything don't have builds. They have 99 and everything. They're casters, you know, they're heavy big boys, they're melee, they're mages, they're everything because they have 99 and everything. So you can't like create weaknesses for bosses, and it just massively hampers what they can actually do with bosses, like giving them weakness and such, because it's pointless to give the boss weakness if the players have access to everything no matter their build. So the Skadoodoo solution makes sense in the context of what they did with the base game with the max level and the 99 and everything. But the more elegant solution and the better and more intelligent solution, and that's not what they did, because you know, they've been doing leveling up until 99 and everything since pretty much every Souls game I can remember. So because of that, they didn't change things, but technically the right way to approach this is to create a level cap that is not 99 and everything. You could argue about what the level cap should be. I don't think there's any argument to be made above 200. The reason why I bring up 200 is I don't think there's any build that you can think of that you cannot do at level 200. And so I don't really see the point of having more levels than any build you could ever make at level 200. Just keep in mind, the idea of making a build is to sacrifice in one thing, put it in another thing. At level 200, you can make any hybrid build that you can think of and have them be like as good, if not better, than pure builds. So if anything, you could make a stronger argument that that level should be 150. Personally, I would prefer it even lower, but I understand that that might not be for the preference of most people. And the argument is not as strong because not everyone is as good at the game, and some people need a little helping hand. Okay, now... Alright, let's try this out, guys. All three of them. All right. Bro, he just fell on his own. The dude just walked off by accident. That's crazy. Elden Ring Reforged does that? Well, what do you think they do that? Like, we've been saying this forever. Like, this is the sort of discussion that I've had back in Dark Souls 3. Like, this is not like a new concept that has been introduced like today for the first time. Like, we've been talking about this for actual years now. Like, game developers that, you know, they're good, like, creative people and whatever. Let's say game designers. So I don't want to put everyone under the same umbrella, but game designers, usually they're bad gamers. Like, they're mechanically bad at games. And most of the time, they don't really understand the implication of the decisions they make. And they overestimate their own ability to design as well. And so, because of all these all these reasons, you're gonna end up a lot of time with the quote-unquote power fantasy that really caters to the lowest common denominator. And even then, from the perspective of the lowest common denominator, even though had they a little bit more insight and experience, they would find better solutions to their problems. But all they can do is regurgitate what's already been done for the most part. God damn it, this guy always rushes me right away. I don't have time to buff. We invaded him earlier. Okay, there you go. Alright, finally. Questionable range, but fucking lock on. Denied. Oh my god, dude. Silver Fox, like, I think you bring a good point because, like, if you put the level lower, like you said, like after a certain point, the reward for killing stuff is going to become useless. But you're thinking in the context of the current way Elden Ring is implemented, meaning that you have no use for your runes in this game other than leveling, really, because the stuff you buy, there's like almost nothing. With that being said, you could easily create an economy where your runes that you get from killing bosses could be spent in meaningful ways. Like, you don't have to limit yourself to what exists now. Let me give you an example. If you had upgrade materials that could be purchasable to upgrade weapons as much as you wanted, or buy, like, most of these consumables, because, like, for instance, you cannot buy golem arrows, right? Like, everything comes in the form of how you balance that stuff. Like, if you make golem arrows, like, if buying a pack of golem arrows cost as much as, let's say, killing a boss, well, the economics are going to be very different than if you can fold your stack of golem arrows from killing one boss. So if you take into consideration all that they could do with the way you could spend your runes, it's very easy to figure out solutions to what you're saying. There's many ways you could spend runes that could be compelling to the player, like, you know, weapon upgrades that are... Because in this game, like, weapon upgrades are limited. Like, you only have a certain amount for your playthrough. I'm talking about, like, let's say the last one. Then you can purchase, like, the upgrade materials all the way up to the max, but you cannot buy the max one. So you could have the max one be purchasable for a higher price, for instance. That's one. Actually, we focus on this invasion. Like, you could buy, like, weapons, right? Like, right now, we're very limited in the type of customization, like visual customization that our builds have. Like, imagine for a second that... Oh, that's the wrong thingy. Imagine for a second that you could customize the color of your weapon or the color of your character. Well, you could have an economy around that. We killed one. Even though we hit the teammate, we did kill one. Wow, no hit there. I think we're gonna rebuff. Wow, no hit on this guy. This teammate is a bot, dude. He got hit by every single of these explosions. Almost got hit by one here that could cost me. No covenant, no in-game incentive to duel. Yeah, I mean, that's, that's another branch of the same problem, but we were mainly talking about the DLC and why From Software decided to implement like a new system altogether, like meaning the Skadoodoo system. The reason why they implemented that was to fix a problem that they created in the first place, basically. It's the same thing with Torrent. Like, the reason why you have Torrent in the game is that they spread it out the map too much. So there's so much empty space in Elden Ring that in order to solve that problem, they introduced Torrent basically to fix a problem they created. If you shrink the size of the large map and you push things closer together, sure, you're gonna lose scale, but it's not gonna feel as empty and as much of like traveling from point A to point B. It's decisions like that, But, to FromSoft's defense, like, you could argue that the map size has a little bit of a... How should I put it? It's like a novelty almost. Like, when you play the game for the first time, and you discover the map and it's so big, and then you discover that there's another part of the map and it's even bigger, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the scale of the game itself is impressive, especially the first time you play it. But, when you do play the game for the first time and you go to play it for the second time, then it feels tedious because the fun parts of the game are the legacy dungeons, and for the most part, You want to get what you need in the open world, skip to the legacy dungeon and play the boss and the legacy dungeons there. So, you know, there is an argument that can be made on both sides, because the first experience, you could say, benefits a little bit from having a world that's as big. It's impressive, it's has that wow effect, you have a lot of beautiful sceneries. But as far as gameplay is concerned, you have better gameplay with intricately crafted levels that are handmade, like designed by a level designer, like the legacy dungeons. Like, you ask anyone their favorite areas in any Souls game, or let's say in Elden Ring, I think it's better to ask in Elden Ring. Like, it's going to be like, people are gonna say like, oh, I like Stormvale, you know, like Lanedale, you know, like people are always gonna point to legacy dungeons, not to like, I like Lernia, or, you know, like Caelid in itself. They feel like Caelid is better than I don't know, like, name any legacy dungeon. Like, I don't think anyone would say that Caelid on its own is a more fun area than, you know, than, let's say, Volcano Manor, right? Like, I'm picking two areas that have the same color scheme, right? It's fun to have biome diversity, don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to say is, as far as gameplay is concerned, it's more fun to go through an area that's been intricately designed, basically designed intelligently by someone, as opposed to something that has been procedurally generated in a broader scale. There's the hose there. This guy is brain deadly trading. The reason why I'm trading there is I know I'm winning this brain dead trade. That's what happens with people that play Starfist. Like, Starfist actually can do that versus most things. So you get people just brain deadly mashing against everything. Because they get away with it most of the time. But here, as soon as I have like the health lead, I can afford to just smash, and even if he mashes out of it, I'll eventually win the trade, like what happened there. It's not as clean to play like that, but for me, like, I don't really care about this game, and for the most part, when I'm in these sort of fights, all I care about is getting it over with as soon as possible. What I care about is killing them quickly, not necessarily cleanly. And that's what you need as an invader for the most part, is you want to get kills quickly. There's a difference between killing someone cleanly and killing someone quickly. And for invasions, you definitely need to kill people quickly. Otherwise, someone's gonna swoop in there and prevent you from ever killing anyone. You don't care about this game while you play it every day? It might sound like a gotcha question, but it's very easy to answer. I've been running my channel for like, what is it now? Like probably 8 years, 9 years? I don't want to let my channel go to waste, even if Elden Ring is a bad game. And I still need that extra revenue that the channel generates, so I have a choice. Either I abandon my channel and let everything I've done to this point go to waste, and accept or guess that the next game is going to be pointless and bad, just like Elden Ring PvP wise. Or, you know, I do the minimum and just keep the channel alive. And also, the whole playing every day is also like it's just completely false. Like, people think I play every day because I upload every day, but it's so little effort to make content like this. Like, I don't have to play every day. I have to play 3 times per week for about 3 hours, and then I have another day that's just editing all these clips, and then I schedule them, and that's it. So it's less than a part-time job time-wise, and I have revenue that's generated from that. So the incentive for doing that is, it's very easy to understand once you break it down. It has nothing to do with you that would like to play this game for your own enjoyment. But that would not be me. Like, I would not play Elden Ring for my own enjoyment, because it's a bad PvP game. It really is. But for me, I don't want to let my channel go to waste because Elden Ring is a bad game, PvP game, where I still think that FromSoft could pull it off on another game. So I hope that answers the question, but usually people that ask that are usually in bad faith, so. But the question is worth asking, you know? Someone help you beat Commander Nolan? Who's Commander Nolan? Are you at fucking Castle, which side are you at? Castle no. Are you at Castle Sol? Where are you at, Castle? Let's go beat Nolan, bro. Where are you at? What's your grace? Castle Solo? Alright, Church of the Eclipse, is that it? Alright, let's go beat up Nolan. Alright, Castle, password 99. Not this, god dang it. Let's go beat up Nolan, bro. I'm gonna go with Starfist to beat up Nolan. For this one, since it's PvE, the better tallies are different. Insane helmet, Castle. Alright. Put this on. Maybe this. Where are you going, bro? Well played, Castle. I'm a PvEer now, look at this. What's crazy is it makes sense. Look at my talisman setup. Like verdigris plus great shield tally plus the defense physic. I actually resist so much in PvE. It's quite crazy when you couple all of that stuff together. You get a pretty amazing result. Fat roll is even good for PvE, guys. Isn't that crazy? You do have to build for it, though. Here, I'm not even sure we're gonna be on the right in the right area. Usually, spawns in this area are all over the place. Well, there you go. Yep, they were completely at the on the other side of this level, right up top, right near the boss. Needs Millennia next? Yeah, my fat roll strat against Millennia is probably not going to work. You've never fought... You've never fought her before? That's crazy. And you never will. That's funny. Yeah, I don't think I'd be using Fat Roll against Millennia. I think that's too risky. You need to know her moveset to do that, which, you know, I don't spend time doing PvE, so it would be a bad strategy. Oh, I thought I had TS for a second. Easy range there. Nice. Timing's a little different here. Alright, let's try to reverse VHS him. Or he just tries to parry me and we'll kill him. Okay. Where's the whole staff? Oh, there he is. Why is it so funny to push them off with this stuff? Oh my god. You wonder if Milady knockback was intentional? I think it is. I think the reason why they put it there I think it's because it was probably too easy to stun lock players with the R2. You just relocate. Let's say you do like one neutral R2 and you hit someone, and then you do another one. It was probably like a guaranteed roll catch once you got like one hit in. Because if you don't push them backward, you're kind of keeping them in the range of this attack like every time if you don't like knock them backward. So you could like just roll catch just by doing that forever, basically. That's probably why they did that. That's just a guess though, but I think that would make sense. Because of the knockback, then the enemy can roll like backward and then avoid it. That's just a guess again. Like maybe this had nothing to do with PvP. Who knows? You can't see them do anything based on PvP. I understand, but they still do from time to time. What's the build tonight? Tonight I was actually trying a buff build. So like we have Fat Roll BHS with Verdigris Discus, which, you know, really gives us good defense overall. We can't really roll, but we have BHS to compensate. And then we have a stat spread that's basically like 54 strength. Don't mind the 19 dex, that's because I have Millicent Prosthesis. But basically we have 50 fate as well for the buff. And we're doing Golden Vow and Electrify Armament. And we're getting most of our weapons to 1000 AR, basically. That's the idea. And the buff lasts about like a minute or so. So that's the team of the build for today. And to push our damage higher, we use Blood Bowl Aromatic on top of that. It's not necessary, but it gives you that very strong, like, 2 jumping attack kill potential. As you can see there, our damage is brutal. Oh, it ate my input. But that allows us to, like, kill people with 2 jumping attacks, basically. Which is pretty nasty. You tried Orange Eye build and it's hilarious. If only I didn't play on vanilla PC, would have been so much better. Yeah. Yeah, I think from what I understand, vanilla PC is very laggy, but yeah, the Iron Jar is actually a lot of fun. I feel like I really found like a little niche with that Iron Jar BHB stuff. I really think Back End Blade is probably the only weapon that legitimately like makes Iron Jar like redeemable. Like it actually works. Like you can actually play with that thing. It's pretty funny. Isn't the Old Lord Talisman worth it in this kind of build? Yes, and we were using it earlier. The reason why I'm not using it now is I needed Millicent Prosthesis to wield Milady. If not for that, I was using the spell buff duration extension instead of Millicent. Okay, here they summon, meaning that they're actually like they got a terrible spawn again. So yes, we were using Old Lord earlier. And now we're just using Millicent for the dex requirement. But technically, if you wanted to, you could just swap your helmet for, you know, like a dex helmet or like bird helmet, whatever. And then swap that out. So far, the buff duration has not been an issue. Well, I like things how they are. And I really fell in love with Fat Roll BHS coupled with the Verdigris Discus. That thing gives you 7.5% defense in everything in PvP. And it really matters. It matters because normally, if you were to make a build with heavy armor, first of all, you would need high endurance, and you would also need to have Great Jar Arsenal. So not only do you need less endurance for heavy roll, so you're saving on stats, but you trade the Great Jar Arsenal Talisman for the Verdigris Discus. So technically the trade-off is, for a fat roll build versus a medium roll build, the trade-off is you lose your Ash of War in exchange for more stats and more defense. It's actually a very strong trade-off, and I think the deeper we get into the game's life cycle, I think the more agreed upon by tryhard it's going to be that fat rolling is more optimal with BHS, of course. Without BHS, there's no point. But with BHS, fat rolling actually makes a lot of sense. And you know, that's just a me thing. Like, I like Blood Boil Aromatic on top of everything. You sacrifice some defense there, but it just does so much damage when you have that. Look at that. Look at how much damage we deal. I know he was naked, but still, like 1400 for one jump attack? That's some crazy stuff. So yeah, the way I see it, I think Fat Roll has its place in the meta. Like, I legitimately think so. But obviously you need BHS. And the reason why I think it has its place is it's not just that it replaces mid-roll with the BHS, it's that you gain more stats and some very significant amount of defense with that Verdigris Discus tally. That talisman is basically what makes or break this exchange, I think. Obviously, though, like, you're never gonna see, like, Fat Roll in ladder plays because they ban BHS, right? Like, you're watching, like, any competitive players. I don't think they're gonna adopt it because in their rule set, BHS is banned, so I don't think you're really ever gonna see it used that much in tourneys because of that. Because it completely depends on BHS for this to be viable. But outside of that, I genuinely think that it's one aspect that has been slept on since the DLC came out, right? Because this talisman only became a thing with the Earth 3 DLC. It didn't exist before, so the trade-off was not as skewed. There's a talisman that gives like 7.5 defense across the board. is extremely valuable. Like, just for comparison, your physic, right? Like, the defense physic, again, it gives you 10% across the board. So this talisman is almost the equivalent of having an extra effect in your physic. It's pretty wild. I guess another trade-off that I've not talked about is you do have a little lower stamina regen when you're heavy rolling. Your stamina regen is not quite as fast, but if I'm being totally honest, in the context of Elden Ring, like as someone who've played Dark Souls 3 for years and, you know, who've played Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1, we felt like stamina regen was generous in Dark Souls 3 compared to Dark Souls 2. We felt like Dark Souls 2 was in a good place with how punishing stamina regeneration was. Elden Ring just throws that out of the window, and you get so much stamina regen that it doesn't really matter how much you nerf it. You still have so much that it's never a problem. Let's try to find this host here. Where is he? Insane fight, dude. Actually, insane fight. Okay, these are poons for ladders, guys. It's worth it. It's definitely good enough to get people off ladders. Yeah, absolutely, Filthy. It is dependent on FP. But you have to keep in mind, like, if you use your FP solely for BHS, because that's what it is, like, you have to keep in mind, when you're playing normally, or quote-unquote, as you're playing right now, you're using your FP constantly for your Ash of War. But if you just use BHS, like, you know, you're only using BHS for your FP, so you have more than enough. You have more than enough. When it starts to become a problem is if you attempt to make a heavy roll build, and you plan on mixing up some spells with it, and mixing up some Ash of Wars, then it starts to become a problem with the FP, like we realized when we tried the Iron Jar build with the spells. The spells made it that we constantly ran out of blue juice, and every time we ran out, we were basically dead, because, you know, fat roll, if you can't dodge, you're pretty much dead. So you are right, if you try to incorporate other stuff that takes away FP, you are going to hurt yourself. But if you're just using BHS, you're not going to have problems with it. Alright, let's try this. Blue almost fucked me up. Look at this, beautiful. Look at this. The damage is real. I'm telling you guys, like, the damage is serious with this setup. And you don't take that much, that's the thing. You get to use Blood Boil, right? And obviously Blood Boil has a significant damage taken penalty, but you kind of nullify that with the Discus, the Verdigris Talisman, Golden Vow, and your Physic. Host and Phantom look chill and the blue messed it up. Yeah. But that is true that you do have to manage your blue bar. You can't just willy-nilly just ignore it and expect to be fine. You do have to watch out for it. Good fight. Three players. Oh, it's these guys. Well, I mean, if I get debuff on this build, I have no winning condition, unfortunately. This is not a build to get debuffed. Problem with people like that is that they live and breathe to to counter what you're doing, so unfortunately with these sort of ganks you have to get lucky first of all, and second of all you need a build that's specifically catered for this specific map or these specific guys, and even then your chances of winning are quite low. There you go. Problem still is you're taking away invasions from other people when you're doing that. You're basically selfishly like getting greater invasion rate at the expense of other people that are trying to invade. Okay, there you go. We got one guy there. All right. Kinda hurt. He did very little damage and we did a lot. Gonna try to resummon. Ever think about trying to survival hosting? Not really. I don't really care about Elden Ring altogether, so I don't really think about Elden Ring. It doesn't matter what specifically. You won't take spot from people if it's just you using it. But if a large population of players are using that item, you're gonna have players that are gonna find invasions like way quicker and that are gonna take spots from people which cannot generate invasions as fast. So it's just basic maths, really. Like, it's just how it is. Like, one person is not gonna make a difference. But if you have multiple people using that, I mean, it's clear what happens. Oh, there's 3 of them. And this one's a mage, I think. Okay, well. That's an important kill, actually. We're gonna need to rebuff here. Okay, let's try that again. Gotta be careful about the overlevel with the dual whip, because he does a ton of damage. He's probably gonna attempt to resummon his friend at the Grace though. They got a blue now. Have to back up. Probably gonna have to rebuff, but I'm gonna wait for the blue to be in sight first. Honestly, I'm gonna try this with Pada. Why not? We should change our talisman setup though. Probably gonna have, actually, probably gonna have this. We have to be careful, like engaging with 3 people would be a little overkill there. I think that's the blue, yeah. They're just ganking in the open. Right, we killed one already, but we made no progress because they got a resummon. And we lost a lot of E-lings killing the first guy. Come on. Maybe we're not gonna have a choice but to do this. Okay, that's good. This guy. Come on. Dude, the fucking thing is killing us. Okay, it's an important kill. Then we can finish up This host here. Nice. Oh, that looked unwinnable from the get-go, but we really only won because they decided to come to the castle. If they stayed in the open back there, I don't think we could have done much. Alright, let's do one last one, and then I'm gonna call it for today. My old Dark Souls 3 vids are some of the most entertaining. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I'm actually gonna try Pada here. It seemed to be quite good. You still have the combo. Strength weapon. I mean, I think it makes sense for this build. Let's do the last one with Pada. Players, there's 2 players in there. Exchange complete. I wanted to steal their stuff, but it was too late. Alright, I think I'm just gonna call it here, though. That's good enough for me today. We tried some new stuff, you know. I'd say, surprisingly, I thought the TS would be broken with this setup. It actually wasn't. It wasn't... I don't think all this setup warrants like all this effort with buffing and everything when the normal strength TS is just, you know, just as good really, or almost just as good. But when it comes to Milady or even Pada, I think Pada, the Barbaric Roar one, probably makes more sense, but still. I think this with Milady was quite nice. Nice little discovery. Like most people, you could kill them if you're fully buffed up with 2 jumping R2s. So that's quite nice, you know, it's, on our quest to making everything kill quickly. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Gonna showcase the build real quick again for those who missed it earlier. Oops, like that. Let's just get the proper talisman set up as well. So yeah, you know, using Fat Roll with BHS, leveraging the Verdigris Discus to get more defense as well. Not just offense, but we do have some defense. And then for the buff, obviously Golden Vow and Electrify Armament. And if you want to get your damage even higher, you get Blood Boil. And let's just take a look real quick at our AR. So with our full setup, our Milady AR reaches 1074. So basically any weapon that you can think of, you're gonna make them have like 1000 AR with this setup. So that's the benefit here. You make everything have 1000 AR, and you basically get a lot of 2-shots with that. So really nice because of that. And then the stats. Okay, we're gonna remove this just because it's gonna confuse people. So this is the stats we have, you know, 59 vigor, 29 and 26 endurance, 54 strength, 14 dex, and 50 fate. To be fair, when I made this this build initially, I was under the impression that this talisman here, Claw Mark, which has an incantation scaling of 289, would be the best seal to use. And it's not. This one, which has an incantation scaling of 259, gives more AR than Claw Mark. So Claw Mark here, the incantation scaling, even though it has strength scaling, it only affects physical spells, unfortunately. So having 259 scaling is not that high, all things considered. So you could probably do this build with intelligence instead, having 50 int, 54 strength, and using a staff that has higher incantation scaling. The downside of doing that is you're going to be trading off the Golden Vow for the Scepter of the All-Knowing. So you're still going to do like some damage, but you're not going to have the defense benefit of Golden Vow as well. So, you know, it's something you could definitely do with int as well, equivalent. But I decided to do it with Fate, see what happens, and this is the stats we have. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today, and catch you guys up later. Take care, guys. All right, let's raid a fellow streamer. Let's see. All right. All right, take care, guys.